Hi. This is a video I've been itching to make for a while. I'd like to try and show where the sample for MF Doom's classic Rap Snitch Knish comes from, and in the process try and see if I can recreate the original sample. I guess the popular word now is interpolate, do it from scratch on the Ableton Move, and maybe even rebuild the whole track. Who knows? I think before I get into this though, I thought maybe I'd talk a little bit behind the mask, a little bit about MF Doom. He's an intriguing guy with a very interesting life story, and I think has been cited by many as a hip-hop genius. He always carved out the less obvious alternative path for his work, and has been admired by many other rappers for his lyrical style, and is cited and quoted as a major influence. The story behind the mask, which conceals his identity, a mask that's styled both on Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four Marvel character and the mask from the movie Gladiator. The MF Doom persona became a way for him to re-emerge following the death of his brother. He was enduring struggles with anxiety and depression, and it became part of his artistic presence. I think we should also credit that in using the Doom name, he was also very playful with his use of the imagery and plots of comics and superheroes, and would often reference both of these in his work and lyrics. We should also not forget that ICE is nothing new. He was in fact deported under Obama's government in 2010 for, I guess, essentially not being American enough, despite having lived most of his life there. The irony of this was that his music was put on the official playlist for Biden's inauguration, but nonetheless he lived the latter 10 years of his life in the UK. He made a home in quite a picturesque northern village in Yorkshire, and lived there happily until his death in 2020, largely unknown, unrecognised. I guess using the mask he was able to conceal the fact that he was there, and it's only really afterwards, after he died, that people became aware that he'd been living in their community. His death in itself has some mystery surrounding it. He went into a coma following a reaction to blood pressure medication, and eventually his family received an apology for what was deemed to be substandard care, in an apology from NHS managers. Let's not let that overshadow the fact that he is remembered for his talent, his humility, his varied interests outside of the world of music. I guess just one example of this is his love of radio-controlled cars. I'll stick some links below for some of the other interesting stories about him. We could go on for a while about this. I guess what I did really want to talk about were his skills as a crate digger, so to speak. His ability to root out unusual and unexpected samples for his work. And it's one of these samples I want to explore in more detail and see if I can recreate it. So it's from this album, which is an album from David Matthews. He's a jazz keyboardist, pianist, music arranger. He worked with James Brown on James Brown's tours and worked with many jazz greats. In 1977, he self-released, I guess what could be almost called a vanity project, a science fiction themed jazz funk album with quite a number of songs themed around Frank Herbert's Dune. There weren't quite enough songs to make up a whole album, so he padded out the remainder of the tracks with some Star Wars themed items. I think there's a track from the movie Silent Running there, and amongst them all is a cover version of David Bowie's Space Oddity, and it's this track that I'm going to come back to. I guess the tragedy about this piece of work is that David Matthews, in his, I guess naively, forgot to seek permission for the release of this album from Frank Herbert's estate, and once they got wind of it, the album was pulled and destroyed. So for quite a few years this was a cult, legendary science fiction album that had kind of been lost in the mists of time. Quite how MF Doom came upon it, who knows. You can actually now listen to this on streaming services, and I really would say give it a whirl. It's worth it just for the sandworm theme, and I think there's a track called Song of the Ben Gesserit as well. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, let's go to the David Bowie track. Now, this is quite something else, so I'm going to quieten down the background music and let's have a listen to this in all its glory. Okay, and the distinctive thing is that at the 2 minutes and 9 second mark, suddenly out of the blue you hear David Sanborn's guitar and a very familiar riff begin to play. Quite how MF Doom heard this and decided to make a song out of it, then I guess that's where his genius comes into it. Now, on both the original Coffin Nails instrumental and the rap version, this sample's heavily filtered, drums are added, so I'm going to have a go at doing something similar. So first of all, let's take this section out, edit it in Logic, and try and break it down into its component parts and figure out what's going on. Okay, what you can see I've done here is I've loaded the Space Oddity sample into Logic, and if I give it a quick playback, so you can see what I've done is trimmed it off, looped it, and I can then take that and do stem separation on it. So then if I play it back, you can see what I've got is a combination of the separate parts. And I can then figure out which part is doing which. So say we take the drums out. Let's just go for the bass. So a bit muffled, but you can still hear the individual notes. And I can then set up a MIDI channel. If I just mute that temporarily, I can set up a MIDI channel that runs in parallel that's going to the move. My keyboard skills aren't fantastic, but what I can do is drag and drop each of these notes to pretty much align with what the bass is playing, play the two together. And so that's what I did for each of these tracks. So let's show the piano. So there's the electric piano part, and I doubled it up with a And if I take out the remaining bit of audio, sorry, distorting a little bit there, but yeah, basically you get the idea that I can then gradually put each of those parts, then play them into the move. So I've then got 4-bar loops for each of the component bits of the original loop. And in that way we've rebuilt it, and then it's a matter of sticking the drums in, and we're most of the way there. So hopefully that helps. Okay, let's go back to the Ableton Move. Okay, I've taken the loop from the Logic edits that I've done. I've put the samples on track 1, bass, electric piano, piano. So if I go into the drum part, here's the guitar part, isolated guitar. And I've taken some classic Akai style samples for that kind of boom bap energy. So let's put them all back, layer them on top of each other, and let's see how close to coffin nails we can get this to start with, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, bass first. Electric piano. Piano. Let's go for drums. Okay, let's get the guitar in. Okay, we're getting there. Now, I'd be crazy to say I could rap on this, so I'm going to let the professionals do this.
MF Doom,
Mr. Fantastic,
Mr. Fantastic,
Villain.
What up, nigga?
Ain't nothing. What's the word?
It's cracking, boy.
Same old shit, kid.
Man, raps, man, rap snitches, man. MF Doom,
Mr.
shit is bugged out. Mr. Fantastic.
Tell a villain.
Niggas, what up, nigga?
Ain't nothing. What's the
Names
word?
cracking, boy. Everything. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Tight profile, low, like 8 and paid in full. Attract heavy cash, cut the game centrifugal. Mr. Fantastic, long though like elastic. All my life with twin clocks that's made out of plastic. Can't stand up brown nose and nigga fake ass bastard. Admiring my style, tall bust to Manhattan, plotting, playing the quickest. My flow's the sickest, my hoes be the thickest. My dro, the stickiest. Street nigga, stamped and bona fide. When beef jump, niggas come get me cause they know I ride. True to the ski mask, New York's my origin. Play a fake gangster like an old accordion. According to him, when the D's rushed in, complication from the wild testimony was thin. Caused this man to go up off the board, hit him again. Lame rap snitch, nigga, even told on the Mexican. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Rap snitches, telling all their business. Sit in the court and be their own star witness. Do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here. Fuck around, get the whole label sent up for years. Type.
Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little peek under the could as to where the science fiction sample came from, how we then use that with stem separation to pull out the melodies, turn it into MIDI, stick it into a groove box, and then maybe put all those parts back together again. And I stem separated some extra rapid vocals out from you all know where, and hopefully you've enjoyed this little journey and a little bit of a peek into MF Doom and his most famous work. And I'd just say thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the ride. Yeah.